is KEF LS50s wireless speakers and KEF LS50 passive speakers. The one I have is a black edition, and this one is KEF LS50 wireless gloss black with the blue drivers. So basically same speaker design and concept and everything is same. What different is this one come with built-in amplifier, 200 watts class D digital M for the bass driver, and 30 watts class AB for the high frequency tweeter. Those amps are built in. It also have a digital to analog converter built in with the what do you call it, or DSP, digital sound processor, to control the sound of the speakers. And big difference is, not a lot of people mentioned before, why this one sounds deeper and better bass response. Because this one have bigger, a deeper cabinet compared to a passive LS50 speakers. It's about a little over inch deeper to the back, because real estate inside is a bit bigger than the regular passive speakers, but it's not much difference in sound signature. It's not like very noticeable unless you play with the music with a lot of bass, heavy bass lines, then noticeable. Most of the time it's pretty much a very similar sound signature with these speakers. So overall, build quality, everything, nothing to complain. It's great build quality, and it has the built-in amplifier, so it's easy for the people who like to use just two speaker and connect the like analog input or optical input or USB input, or they can stream with the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So those are all the features, and with the digital sound processor, so which is really good for the people that doesn't want to deal with a lot of equipment, and great for the people that like to stream the music. But the name that called wireless speaker is, I don't really get it, because it's not really that wireless, because it requires more wires than the passive speakers by looking at it. But probably they are calling it wireless because of it has the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection, and a two speaker even connected with the wire. It's not even connected wirelessly. Pretty much same design or deeper cabinet to the back, and put the digital amplifier inside the cabinet. So it's very nice, smart design, and good quality sound that it can produce. Out of curiosity, I just 100% completely reset the speakers, then I listen to the music. It sounds good without the DSP, but it doesn't have the great mid-range and high frequency clarity of a passive LS50 speakers compared to with the DSP on and off. So with DSP on, it increases, and usually what it does is it just tunes it boosts the bass and trim the treble, so it sounds nicely and more evenly. It's pretty much like you turning on loudness button on the old school amplifiers that we used to use. I used to have a really good Sunsui AU907MR. So it has the loudness button. But once you hit the button, it sounds become deeper and richer with the a lot of lower mids and upper bass increase in that region, so it sounds deeper and richer and fuller. That's I wanted to say. So KEF LS50 Wireless is very similar to that, but it's modern take on loudness button, I should say, with the DSP. So it's my way of interpreting. That's how these are sounding, because basically they just raise the upper bass and lower mid range, so it sounds fuller and deeper. So overall, tonally, everything sounds great, but LS50 passive sounds better because it has the more correct timbre and tonally more organic and more natural. Most of the instruments, especially, is very noticeable when playing like upright bass. Those notes are more realistic on this one than on this one. I don't mean this one is not realistic sounding. It does have a realistic sounding, but it lacks the airy, spacious sound between the notes like a passive speaker does. So, in other words, LS50 passive has the more space between the instrument and a little bit more spacious sounding. This one appear, a lot of people will say, oh, that sounds big. Yeah, but it's not the case. It appear sounds bigger. That's the way we hear, because it has the deeper equalized upper and mid region. That's why it will makes you think that this soundstage is bigger. So you have to audition these speakers, switching A, B, A, B. Otherwise, you will not have a final conclusion, which is better. So if I only listen to this one, I'm very satisfied and very happy with the quality of the sound that these guys can make. But if I switch this to, then I realize what is like real instruments and more realistic and organic sounding. So this one, bass performance is like pushed out and forced to punch out the lower frequency response from a small driver. Squeezed out bass performance. It's a little bit unnatural, especially when playing a deep notes. I was listening to Diana Carell live in Paris DVD. I was watching it, and I realized I was doing back and forth on the piano notes and low left hand piano notes and like bass especially, and jazz snare drums. It's more like realistic and lifelike sounding on JBL Studio 590, and it's natural and more organic, and that's how I remember when hearing the outside. But this one, it create very close to a source and natural sounding. It doesn't have like a realistic feeling like a big floor standing speakers or passive speakers, especially for mid-range to upper frequencies. But good thing about LS50 is the mid-range is perfect. No matter which one you use, mid-range, the vocals and anything in the mid-region, that's the strength and signature of a KEF LS50 line. So mid-range is great, and so upper mid-range too, highs are like this guy. Passive is more airy feeling, more lush, and a bit softer and smoother to my ears. That's what I found out. A very good speaker that can produce really good quality sound. So sound signature is should be the same, but if you really pay attention to it, it's a little different. So presentation, sound signature, it's very similar, yet there are some differences. So the difference is, like I said, the airy feeling, spaciousness between the instruments, and real lifelike organic sound quality that passive LS50 can produce. So by the way, I bought this speaker. This is not a review sample. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it for a long time because I'm worried that the component inside is only come with a 1-year warranty on electronic parts. So as far as I know, so what happened if something went wrong? I'm out of $2,000. So, and I love KEF LS50 passive for unlimited possibilities with enjoying with different components and very sensitive to fine tuning and fine adjustments like speaker placement, and very sensitive to changing the cables. So that kind of thing that I like to fine tune it. So these doesn't need to fuzz around and just enjoy your sound and music. So if you are that kind of person, this is a speaker for you. But if you think it's really worth the money or not, that's your decision. But one thing I can assure you is this will give you very satisfying quality sound with a good presentation and really good sound stage with nice impact and quality sound that fill your decent sized room, small to mid sized room. So this one have no problem filling my 14 by 20 by 9 to the room. It sounds very nicely and musical. So I just pull out into the room like how many inches? I don't know, like 4.5 feet into the room from the back wall. So that's how I place them. But when I audition in my music den, they are only like 30 inches away from the wall. So it's still considered is the freestanding. So, and some case, for example, I was listening to Diana Krall Temptation, or like Patricia Barber or September in Montreal. Those kind of music, if the DSP is properly tuned to your room, and this one is set up properly, or the LS50 passive, I cannot tell the difference. But when I was playing Metallica, Sad But True, or like The God That Fails or something, and those songs, you know, the one that he playing is more sounding more realistic on LS50 passive than the active. But this one produced really nice sound and almost as good, but this one edged out a little bit on when it's come to real life like organic sound and close to the source, producing reproducing the sound of the source components. That's what I mean. So for the either or is good choice if you like the sound of a KEF LS50 speakers. This one gives you more flexibility, so you can fine tune it for your room. And great thing is if you want to put subwoofer, it has a sub management built in, so which is really good for the people that want to use the subwoofer. If I use a subwoofer, I would always run the full range and fine tune it on the subwoofer. That's how they will sound the best. I have done this so many times, and high pass mode doesn't do it. So I have a Parasound Halo P5 I used to have. It has the sub management. I try it, high pass mode. You know, it doesn't, it's great sound, but mid-range and upper mid-range and lower mid-range of those area, I don't know, it's different. So it's not for me. If you're gonna use with the subwoofer, just get the cheaper like Q series or something, and play with it. Then it will save you a lot of money. So starting from Sunsweet AU907 MR with KEF LS50 white speakers, and then I switched to Parasound Halo P5 and Crown XLS 1502. So, and then I got rid of Crown XLS and I got the Parasound Halo A21. So I used that Parasound Halo A21 with the Halo P5. It sounds great. I listen a bunch of different music, but I enjoy listening to jazz music more than anything else, because it relaxes me, and it's just that smooth, soothing sound that I enjoy. So if you are like me, get this one. It's cheaper and more musical and more organic sounding to my ears. So this one is still very musical, very good sounding, with deeper bass response. In some cases, the bass is a little bit unnatural because it has like a forced to perform, pushed out bass quality that I can hear it time to time. It doesn't have like boominess or out of control because of given the quality driver, but there's a limitation to it. So play them with the high, heavy, continuous bass notes. It may show its flaws. I'm just nitpicking. Otherwise, this is totally a very musical speaker. So great sounding speakers for to get rid of a bunch of components, I would say. If you are into that, then these speakers are great for you. Personally, I'm not a big fan of active speakers because I cannot change out the components, and I cannot do things that I want to do with the trying different components and different cables and stuff. But this one, if you don't want to deal with all the crap, and this is great speakers. MSRP price is $2,300, which is very expensive for the size of the speakers. But don't get me wrong, it produced the sound that worth the money. But not like some people will say, like passive LS50 with $5,000 setup cannot even match the quality, sound quality of the active LS50 wireless. It's not true. Please don't listen to them. Every component have their weakness and their strength. So the strength of passive LS50 speaker is it sounds magical when the component is paired properly and matching synergy. The weakness of passive LS50 is very sensitive to placement and very sensitive to pairing components. So that's the weakness. By the time when you've seen this review, I already put out sound sample and comparison sound demos of each speaker back to back, and you will hear it. So there is no big drawback or big advantage on each speaker. I will highly recommend to the people who love music and trying to play around with the different components, stick with the passive LS50 speakers. If you're a person who doesn't want to fuzz around and doing things, and you don't have time for doing it, or you don't enjoy doing it, you just want to listen to your music, go with active speakers. That is my advice. So choosing between this KEF LS50 passive and LS50 active wireless speaker is very hard and very much comparable to each other, with a little bit of a different in between the two speakers. It's like very much like making me choose between Kendall and Kylie. So they both pretty. LS50 passive is like Kendall, LS50 active is like Kylie with more bottom. So but personally I prefer passive for my taste, and it's just a side note and it's just a little joke. So yeah, that's the my review, and that is my take on the KEF LS50 wireless speakers. Very good speakers, come with a hefty price tag. So that's your decision to make. I think they sounds great, but please don't think they will outperform and kill the passive LS50 speakers. Because LS50 passive is still better monitor speaker than the passive speakers when comparing very get down to detail. But overall, they're both great. And personally, I prefer passive LS50 speakers over this active speakers, because this one sounds more organic and more musical to my ears, and with the a little better transparency and spacious sound and space between the each instrument and each notes. This one sounds great with the dynamic attack and bass performance, and easy one to play around because have DSP built in. So either or is your choice, and I have both. I'm very happy with both. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep LS50 wireless for a long run, so I haven't decided yet. So this one right now have like 200 hours of usage. This one have I don't know how many hours. So either one is great speakers. It's your decision to make. They both sounds great. So that is my take on these LS50 speakers. And thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos if you enjoyed it. And comment below what you think about these speakers. Thank you for watching.